Shalom, Akim, Shalom. First of all, we're going to give all glory, all honor, and all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Arakakodash, and give double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone. I'm here with the brother.
Yahawashi Zion, Shalom, Shalom, brothers.
And I'm the brother Kassad. We're coming again just to preach the downfall and destruction of this place, which is America, Babylon the Great. All right? Another day in captivity. But we rejoice because we know that when the Lord Yahawashi returns, he's going to bring peace on the earth then. And there's not going to be any peace until that comes.
Yeah, get that scripture. Not that I come to send peace.
But a sword. How do we get that?
These people got it messed up out here. They think that Jesus is love and all of this shit. Jesus is not even the name of the Lord, first off. All right? It's Yahawashi. And the more that these people don't understand that, you know, ultimately is to their detriment. Because you're only going to be saved in the name of Yahawashi. Not no goddamn Jesus Christ, man.
Jesus juice? No way. This is Matthew chapter 10, verse 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword.
You know, break it down, man.
Yeah, because the Lord is not coming to, bring things together. Not coming in love and happiness. He's coming to destroy things. He's not pleased with the way the world is run, so it has to be destroyed before it's rebuilt.
What scripture is that?
That's Matthew 10 and 34. All right? The Lord's coming with wrath and anger and rage, just like it says in Isaiah 66. We go to Isaiah 66 and 15. We'll go there real quick. And it reads, it says, for behold, the Lord Yahweh will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. Now, does that sound like a man that's coming to bring about peace, love, and happiness? The average man of average intelligence would say absolutely not. So the Lord's coming to bring destruction. Verse 16, for by fire and by his sword will the Lord Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord Yahweh shall be many. So the slain, talking about the Lord's going to basically destroy a lot of people, man. To put it in a euphemism, he's going to take a lot of people out. He's going to punch their ticket.
Yeah, just like the precept says right here. This is Luke 12 and 49. It says, I am come to send fire on the earth. And what will I if it already be kindled?
That's right.
But I have a baptism to be baptized with, and how am I straitened till it be accomplished? Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth? I tell you nay, but rather division. So that's why these jackasses in the Christian church, all right, T.D. Jakes and passing down his little bishopric onto
his daughter,
onto his daughter, which is totally off. You know what I mean? Calling her pastor and stuff like that. A woman's not going to be a pastor. I'm going to tell you right now. There's no way in hell that a woman can be a pastor, okay? That's going off. That's lies. That's not the qualifications of a bishop. That's not the qualifications of a deacon. They say to be the husband. That's why they come in a masculine spirit. Women can't handle power, bro.
Or leadership.
Okay? They can't handle positions of power. They can only handle submission, all right? They're only supposed to be in a position of submission. They're supposed to, that's why, and when you lay with a woman, she takes a submissive role. She has to, you know what I'm saying? There's only one way a woman can receive it, and it's by having to take it. You know what I mean? Not to get graphic or whatever, but it's a fact, man. You know, a woman is supposed to be in a submissive role, and that's through the spirit and power of the Lord. Because he said, thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. And if a woman violates that, and they go against anything that their man says, they're in violation of the scriptures and in danger of judgment. Bottom line.
I got this scripture right here. Laying back, this is Ezekiel 34 and 31. And ye, my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men. And I am your power, saith the Lord Yahweh power.
Yep, I'm your power. That's right. The Lord is ultimately the head of the man. You know what I'm saying? And the woman is going to be dealing with the husband. The husband's going to deal with his girl. He's going to pass the message on. Hey, look, The Lord spoke to the Spirit, and now I'm going to pass it down to you. This is the deal. Y'all follow my instructions, man. And if they go, we ain't going to follow your shit. We independent. I can do all things all bad by myself. Listen, chick, if you don't follow me, the Lord's going to destroy your ass. I ain't going to follow you then. Well, then that's when you cut ties with that woman, guys. All right? You cut ties with the woman. You say, I don't need you no more. You know why? Because you are a hindrance onto the Lord's work. And that's one thing the Lord is not going to allow to happen.
Right.
And you can't feel bad about separating from the woman because she's the one in the violation, not you.
Well,
she don't want to listen, so you got to cut her a bill of divorcement. Get your ass up out of here, chick.
Well, even in the Lord, even in Esau's military, they have rank, man. If you don't submit yourself to your commanding officer, you get kicked the hell out. That's what it is. We're the commanding officer.
But people think that that's not the same in the Lord's. And the Lord doesn't have rank and file or whatever. See, because I had a lot of guys try to buck up or whatever, and you know what happened with them? The Lord dismissed them from ministry. Okay, all of them is no longer in the faith, and if they are still pushing, they're not pushing the right doctrine that they received because they never really ultimately came in the right way. You know what I mean? They came in on their own with a false sense of security, or they're under their own pretense, thinking that they were going to do things the way they wanted to. But that's not how it works. Do you walk into Esau's military and say, hey, man, you know, if somebody gets discharged, that was my boy, man. I need you to bring him back. Like, we don't want him being discharged. And then you look at the guy and you say, listen, he was being insubordinate. And what problem, what issue is that with you? And what's that have to do with you? Nothing. Either you follow along or you're going to get discharged. And that's just how it works, man. The Lord is he's not the author of confusion.
Right.
Okay? And like the scriptures say in 1 Corinthians
14 and 33.
And 40.
And
14 and 40.
I was about to get out 14.
Let all things be done decently and in order.
God, that's the spirit.
And if not, your ass is gone. All right?
Done.
Let's get some more scriptures.
This is John chapter 10, verse 1. It says, verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, or cometh up some other way, the same is as a thief and a robber. But he that entereth in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. So we have to follow the order, rank and file of what the scriptures tell us to do. And there's nowhere in the scriptures where it says that women are to be, you know, pastors or pastoras or whatever you want to be. You're not supposed to be usurping authority over a man. That's evil.
They do that a lot in the Puerto Rican church. You know what I mean? And the Dominicans and shit, and the Pentecostal Spanish churches, you will oftentimes see women in authority, oftentimes, because they look up to the woman way more than the father. The woman has all to say, the spicy woman, which is basically just an asshole insubordinate. All right, she ain't spicy nothing. She just a straight up asshole. She thinks she's a man. She acts like a man, and she don't have no attributes of a man besides her goddamn mouth. And the Lord ain't dealing with none of that again. All right? Because the way they talk. Then they talking with this like swagger, as if to ultimately put all the attention on them because of their delivery rather than what they're saying. Because they're not coming out of the scriptures. Give me that scripture that says, through thy precepts I can understand it. These jackasses don't know what it is. We're being harsh with them because they're supposed to be rebuked harshly. Those that sin really rebuke before all, and that's exactly what we're doing. All right, we rebuke through the scriptures. Listen to this.
This is Psalm 119 and 104. Through thy precepts I get understanding, therefore I hate every false way.
Yeah, so not your little spicy little bullshit rhetoric talking about this and that, and all the delivery is all on the delivery. Plus the woman don't even got her head covered. She just a shame onto her husband, man. And you're not supposed to be. Let's get the scripture on that too. 1 Timothy 2. You know what I mean? And it's not just to one church. Yeah, well, that was just to the people over there for that particular church. No, that's not true at all. Because in Corinthians, which is a separate letter, because that was to Timothy, right? And that also goes back to the Corinthians as well. There's another reiteration of that. You're not supposed to have no goddamn women in authority. And plus, it looks bad. How the hell are you a big, strong, burly man, all jacked up, and some woman gonna tell you, hey, get over there and go do this. And you're like, okay.
That's confusing.
Like, you look like a weirdo, bro. That looks crazy. Go ahead.
This is 1 Timothy chapter 2, instead of verse 9. In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel with shamefacedness and sobriety.
Shamefacedness. And they're not. They'll look you dead in the eye, them pastoras. They're really bold, real straight up, just a damn demon, man. Go ahead.
Not with
I was going to say something else, but you know, it's got to keep it.
It's PG.
It's trying, man.
Not with broidered hair or gold or pearls or costly array, but which becometh women professing godliness with good works.
Yep. Good works. One of the good works is to obey your husband.
The main good work.
It's one of the first things that was commanded upon man. All right? Straight up and down. He gave you dominion over the beasts of the field, over the fowls of the air, but ultimately, your own household, you're supposed to be your woman not supposed to be coming out of her mouth. Now, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, has conditioned these women to think that all they got to do is call those police officers, and they'll be over to your house like this, boom, and they will shut you down. She will be protected. They're going to regulate what's going to happen in your household. And that's proof that you are absolutely in slavery.
Yep, and
There's no question about it.
And I got a precept to that after this. This is 1 Timothy 2 and 11. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man.
So that's another thing. She's not supposed to be telling you what to do in any way, shape, form, or fashion, or to speak to you. All right, it's lucky, brothers. Send out a link to somebody so they can join in with us. Oh, go ahead again.
But this is 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11. It says, let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. And that's ultimately the antithesis of exactly what's going on in Babylon the Great.